Well, hi, Jeff Shore back with you as we continue in our discussion about sales follow-up and what to do after the customer says no. We've been talking first about the mindset and then about the strategy, and now we're going to start getting into the actual call, when it's time to make that call and what are we doing along those lines. And if you want to use something of a cheat sheet, I want to share with you the 5 P's, the 5 P's of effective follow-up. And as we go through, that's going to give you a good sense of how to follow that strategically along. And the first P is perspective. That's the perspective that says, I am providing a valuable service for my customer. This is an extension of the relationship, and I love to do it. Now, that perspective is going to be critical to the quality of the call. So I want to recommend that just before you dial, you start with that perspective check. You don't want to do this begrudgingly. You want to do this with a smile on your face. So start with a perspective. Now, the second P is purpose. Before you call, it is critical that you understand the very specific purpose of the call. Now, we've talked about this already. One of the big problems with sales follow-up calls are the salespeople who say, hey, just call it to check in. Just call it to see if you're still interested. No, that's your purpose. The question is, what is their purpose? What are you calling that will add value to them? So if you already know before you make the call, this is my purpose, this is why I'm calling, this is how I will provide value, it's going to give you a significant leg up on the quality of the call. Now, the third P is personal interaction. And here's the question. What did you learn about this customer's life that you can use during the follow-up call? We talked about this before, about the idea of speed and personalization. So you've got to decide, this is what I know about the customer, this is what I'm going to bring into the call. Make that decision before you dial the phone. The fourth P is presentation. And we're asking the question, what am I trying to accomplish here? What am I trying to do to try and move this sale along? So you have to think about how you're going to ask a question or share some information so that you can continue that relationship and continue the sales momentum. And finally, the fifth P is the proposition. That is, what do you want to ask of your customer? How can we set an action step in motion? You're going to be asking a question that starts with, when do you think you could? Or what if we did this? You've got to have something to cause that customer to continue their momentum. And we do that by asking a proposition question. So those are the 5 Ps. And if you can review them this week before your call, this is before every call, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, how do I tick through those 5 Ps? It'll make your call so much more effective because you'll know why you're calling, you'll know how you're going to call, and you'll know what the purpose of that call is going to be. And if you can get that right, boy, you'll be on the fast track to serving your customer very, very well.